Welcome to the Propaganda Report. That was the intro music of Justin Ridgway. I'm joined here by Ian Covell. Ian, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Brad. Eating healthy, working out. Gonna start selling my fitness plan through the show, like you agreed.
Yeah, all I required was a week straight of working out.
Yeah.
And then you're our resident fitness expert for Maha.
Feels good. It's been a long time since I worked out. Feels good.
Yeah.
Getting the the rust knocked off.
Yeah. Getting that TikTok cam set up in the corner of the gym.
TikTok cam.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No,
over
it does feel
50
good.
workouts.
Absolutely. So we'll look forward to that Maha segment of Propaganda Report forthcoming with food and workout tips from Ian Covell. But today what we're going to talk about is the Trump versus Massie battle that has happened on mostly Truth Social and Twitter, as well as the Tesla attacks. So the Trump seesaw that I've been talking about of some good, some bad, continues today with, we'll start with the bad, at least according to the response on Twitter, and that is Trump going to Truth Social to call for Libertarian favorite Congressman Thomas Massie to be primaried the next election cycle after Massie was the lone Republican vote against the stopgap spending bill to keep government open. The bill did pass, and it's up to the Senate now, but there was one Democrat that voted against the Democrats, and then Massie voted against the Republicans. And this is what Massie does. He's very, I would say, the most principled congressman, the least likely to be bought congressman, I would say, and definitely a favorite, as I said, of libertarians. And Trump routinely tests out messaging and gauges the temperature and sees how people react. Now, on Twitter, the reaction was almost unanimously how stupid Trump was to do that. Why would you do that? Did you see this going around today, Ian?
No, I didn't see it going around today. I had a busier day than usual.
Right.
So I didn't have much time to
troll,
X.
to get on X while at work. But Massie said in response to, let me tell you what Trump said, actually. So part of Trump's message was that Massie of the beautiful Kentucky is an automatic no vote on just about everything, and that he should be primaried. And he said he will lead the charge against Massie, and that Massie is just another grandstander who's too much trouble and not worth the fight. And he says he reminds me of Liz Cheney before her historic record-breaking fall, and that the people of Kentucky who stand for it just watch. And he says, do I have any takers? Thank you again to the Freedom Caucus, for your very important vote. We need some time in order to make America great again. And, it's interesting. When Biden was president, Trump was very much, don't vote for the continuing resolution measures. Go ahead and stop the government. Of course, as president, he's going to want the opposite. In response to that, Massie said, the continuing resolution isn't Trump's agenda. It extends the last year of Biden's agenda substantially, as well as the same spending levels. He also said, someone thinks they can control my voting card by threatening my reelection. Guess what? Doesn't work on me. 3 times I've had a challenger who tried to be more MAGA than me. None busted 25% because my constituents prefer transparency and principles over blind allegiance. Go ahead, Ian.
So, one thing I did hear about this is that the theory behind passing this bill is that the executive branch, they're just going to pass the spending bill and then they're going to attempt to impound the money. So they're not going to spend it where it's supposed to be spent. The other problem is I think there's a lot of theories. I don't think the Trump administration is being super clear about what the end goal is for all of this. I mean, if what they're trying to do is what I just suggested, I don't necessarily have a problem with it. I mean, what else is she gonna do? It's like there's someone at the libertarian fundraiser at the bar was like, "So, are you a libertarian?" I said, "Ah, little L." And they said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, I'm kind of pragmatic. I kind of sometimes I'm not afraid to find win-win situations. All right, I'm not. I do management for a living. That's what I do. So when I hear that, I go, yeah, absolutely. I totally disagree. I think all that stuff in the Biden bill is bullshit. But if what you're doing is using the game that they created, using the rules of that game to your advantage, maybe that's the only move you can make right now, right? So you get them to pass this bill, you impound the money, you don't spend it on the shit they want you to spend it on. I don't know.
Yeah.
Right now, it's been 6 weeks. Jury's still out. Let's see.
I would just like to know if anybody who voted on the bill read the bill.
Oh,
That's always my problem with these bills is they are very large documents that it's almost impossible to read because they're given such a short period of time, and there's always things snuck in the bills that people aren't even aware of that have impacts that you don't even realize until further down the road.
Sure.
So that's always been. I would probably lean towards voting against most of these. I would attempt to read them, but it's almost impossible to do that in this day and age. But here's the thing about the response to that. The response to that, as I said on X, was mostly, Trump didn't read the room on this one.
Sure.
Where this matters is where Massie mentioned is in Kentucky. Now, Trump has done this to Massie before in 2020. What the voters of Kentucky think about this is what is important. X does not necessarily represent real life, but Massie has won with a pretty large portion of the vote in Kentucky before. So this may not matter, but I don't expect Trump to back down because Trump throws messaging out there sometimes, as I said, to test the temperature, but also to start the process of trying to change the temperature in the room. I don't know that he's going to get his libertarian-leaning voters to ever change on that.
Right.
We will see what happens down the road. Massie is one who could be an ally for him on a lot of things. If
I like Massie. I think he's cool.
Yeah, he is very cool. He came
cool,
to the Libertarian
man.
National Convention, said hello to everybody last year. And I don't know what happened to his wife. That's a story that they haven't really given the details of how she died. She died not long ago.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if she had an illness. I don't know if that happened just
That's nobody's business.
Out of nowhere. But without the information, people speculate that she was taken out. I don't know if that's true.
Come on.
It's crazy. But
Taken out to what? Denny's?
no, they think that because Massie is
Taken
such a
out-
problem, that, something might have been. Because
Maybe.
Massie's, like Ron Paul and others, have always been kind of a problem. Speaking of Ron Paul, here's what Ron Paul said in response to the Trump versus Massie situation. He said, "Here we go again. Remember back in 2020 when Congressman Massie heroically stood up against the $2 trillion COVID spending? Back then, President Trump called Massie a third-rate grandstander and a disaster for America. Massie was correct. He was primaried for standing firm and was victorious in the election. The COVID spending helped to usher in the inflation that we're dealing with today, not to mention all of the fraud. Once again, Congressman Massie refuses to support reckless Republican spending and debt, and once again, President Trump seeks to primary Massie, comparing him to Liz Cheney! Exclamation point. If Congress was composed of hundreds of Thomas Massies, we wouldn't be trying to claw our way out of the abyss right now." And we also had Eli Schaefer post that he said he'd like to confirm that there were financial offers in the past to attack Massie on X, saying that he has been offered money to attack Massie, and he knows that some people have taken the money.
Oh, I'm sure that happens.
Yeah,
sure.
take that for
Sure. I'm sure that
what you will.
happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, politics is like, would you ever get into it, Brad?
I think politics, no, there's no
I
way.
would never get into it for reasons like that. It's not worth it to me.
And I wouldn't, if I went to Washington, D.C. ever, I would only drink out of a water bottle that I took myself and that I always had on me. If I ordered a drink at a bar, I'd say, put it in this water bottle, and it would never leave my hip because there would be the Adam
I would
Schiff's.
just bring my own drinks to the bar. I'm like, I got my own
So
whiskey,
bring
thanks.
my own. Yeah, I just have it on your hip like a gun. And you're a bartender, so you could probably flip drinks pretty quick there.
No, I mean, that's it. you only do that. First, those bottles are almost empty. You don't flip full bottles of alcohol.
I thought you flipped full bottles of
No,
alcohol.
those bottles are almost empty.
Oh, wow. Shatter the illusion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like in the movie where Tom Cruise, what's that movie called?
Yes, and all the flair competitions.
It's all a lie.
If you guys want to learn, you go get a Malibu rum bottle, tape it up with some duct tape, and start having fun.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I see. Okay. So we'll see what happens. My guess is this news will quickly get buried underneath the onslaught of news that we are subject to on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Especially when you have the Trump seesaw going. This is the bad, and the good is another story we're going to talk about here. The Department of Education cuts. That was one of his promises. Is we're going to cut the Department of Education.
Snip.
Go ahead.
No, did they?
Well, what they're saying is that the Education Department plans to lay off more than 1,300 of its employees as part of an effort to halve the organization's staff, a prelude to Trump's plan to dismantle the agency. After Tuesday's layoffs, the Education Department staff will sit at roughly half its previous number. It'll have 4,100 left in the agency, is what they said. And they're also terminating the leases on their buildings in New York, Boston, Chicago, and Cleveland. And Education Secretary Linda McMahon, which is Ed McMahon's wife. Not Ed McMahon's wife, the wrestler guy's wife.
Vince McMahon.
Vince McMahon, yeah. Ed McMahon's dead. So she said that when she got to the department, she would reduce bloat and be able to send more money to local education authorities, saying so many of the programs are really excellent. We need to make sure the money goes to the states. Yeah. This was on Tuesday. So what do you think of all this?
So I have been listening to NPR on the way to work every morning because it's fucking hilarious. And one of the things they were talking about today on the show, the host was like, she was interviewing someone who was a reporter that was going to fill her in on the Department of Education and all this stuff. And she said, now, I have to admit, kind of embarrassingly, I don't really know what the Department of Education does. This kind of just says everything we need to know about liberals and progressives, right? She doesn't know what it fucking does. And so the reporter says, well, actually, most of the funding, from that states make up most of the funding, and the Department of Education only supplements it by about 10%. And this is what she said that made me laugh. She goes, and most of that is for programs with kids with special needs. And I'm like, wait a minute. So most of the 10%, and no one stops and goes, hold on a second. We have that many retards? I don't think we have that many handicapped and retarded kids that we need 10% of each state's budget to go. I mean, is that?
That's what those people that
I'm not trying to be
said.
insensitive. I think those kids need extra help, but
yeah, you remember that's what those people said. That
seems like
group.
a lot.
Yeah, it does seem like
10% of your budget going towards special needs seems
DEI,
like
inclusivity.
A lot.
Yeah, one of the other stories along with this was a teacher, and I can't remember what state, was told to take down her, LGBTQ inclusivity sign that she had on the wall of like her 4th grade class.
Oh, yeah.
Right, which obviously that shouldn't be up there in the first place.
Right.
It's
because I never knew anything about any of my teachers' spouses. I didn't know if they were divorced. I assume a lot of the coaches were.
But
I don't know.
Yeah, I never remember at any point in time our teacher prioritizing what their sexuality was.
Yeah. I never, not once did a math teacher go, I like to fuck chicks. Just so you guys know, I like fucking babes. That's what I do.
Yeah,
when I'm not here teaching you fucking idiots on the weekend, I'm fucking laying it down.
Yeah.
Never heard that once.
You look queer. In the corner, put the gay hat on.
Yeah.
Whenever that happened. I don't remember.
Well, you guys think I'm gay? I'm not fucking gay, guys.
It's like the guy from South Park, the principal from South Park.
Yeah, the super woke, aggressive guy.
Yeah. So so many programs. We make sure money goes to the state.
It just seemed like a lot.
I don't know. It does seem like a lot. And these government programs, they're often used to launder money.
Of course.
In my opinion, through these things that people don't want to question like that. Like
Yeah.
I was telling Sam and Austin the other night that one of the reasons that propagandists can get away with propaganda is because no one wants to be the guy who, when someone runs up and says, "Oh my gosh, a baby just died over there in that building," no one wants to be the guy who says, "Really? Did the baby die? Can I
No.
see the body?"
Right.
So they can exploit the fact that anybody who does question sensational, emotionally exploitive stories like that is then demonized, even though there is a long
True.
history of using actual baby death for propaganda purposes.
So maybe what the question is, instead of saying, when can I see the body, go, when will services be held?
Yeah,
And then
you're not
then
invited.
run up and run up to the casket
open
and
the
open
casket.
it real quick.
Right, and then you run the risk of actually being, "Oh, looks like the baby did die. My mistake." But here's a long list of precedent of babies being. Read Edward Bernays' books, and people are like, "Shut up," and they're just attacking you at that point. Yeah, so you better be right. But my point was, we need a society of people who are willing to question that, so that they no longer know that they can confidently use these types of propagandistic measures to just silence any questions or dissent.
The emotional blackmail.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And this funding that's being put towards what you're talking about, the kids,
Sorry.
right, or handicap, whatever.
It just
special
feels
needs.
good to be in the 90s again, you know?
Yeah, it is an opportunity to help some special needs, but also get things done that they want to do without having much of a critical lens put on them because
Yeah.
people don't want to question it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
So Michael says, "I haven't filed my taxes because I'm boycotting." Say hi to me. Hi, Mike. Yes. I think we should all boycott our taxes. Bad Christian says, "One of my teachers was a huge libtard. She was a goth, but at least she didn't discuss analyze the first four letters." I'll tell you. Analyze. Yeah, that's good to not have your teacher discuss that. And oh my gosh, hi Michael. Hi JC. So
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how much dismantling gets done. I know that was a promise. I know that's what definitely libertarian-leaning people like myself would like to see happen. But I have a feeling that a lot of these organizations will be downsized and then repurposed under new leadership. And I think we just need to keep our eyes on them, is all.
Yeah.
I think a lot of distractions. We need to keep our eyes on the ball.
Yeah, I agree. I think I don't know. I was sitting there the other day wondering if we're at the risk of being demoralized about all this. We start unraveling this and we realize there's just more and more knots and more knots, and there's just no way. We just have to just cut through it. And you know what I'm saying? I just don't.
It can be demoralizing. And as some people, it's the whole idea of this, beast that is the government is people can look at it as one giant monolithic, deep state, globalist entity that you're fighting. That's if you think about it that way, you're going to be demoralized. But the reality is, you can do what you can do that's right in front of you. You can take actions in front of you. You can make people aware. You can expose things. You can go down to your local government and you can do stuff there, which a lot of people have been doing lately. And that is where you have your power. And for me, the way I look at it is, with all of the things being exposed that people are learning about. Many of us talked about some of this stuff for a long time, but broadly, finding out that what we've been told isn't true, that's not a bad thing. To me, that is exposing a system that created limitations upon people that have become psychologically
like when we found out
embedded.
Pluto wasn't a planet.
Exactly.
Cool.
People have been led to believe they can't do certain things because of the system that we live in.
No, you're
Once
right.
these things are exposed to be an illusion, then all those barriers to success and what you want to achieve, I think, are an illusion. So I see it as a good thing when it's like, oh, wow, that's BS. You can actually do anything. And when you focus on what's in front of you, I think it's actually very empowering.
Yeah.
Nobody can take down. And all those people, the best audition advice I've ever given, I know I've said this a few times on shows recently, was when you go into the audition room, all those people who are judging you, whose approval other people go in trying to win, they're pussies. These guys are all pussies, and you just got to think these guys are a bunch of pussies, and you just got to go in and do your job of doing a good audition. best advice I see the globalists is the same way. They're humans. They're pussies. They fight with each other, and no different than other people. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying. It's what really opened my eyes is when I went and started working as a casting director's assistant for a little while.
Oh yeah.
And then immediately I stopped being afraid of auditioning.
What was it like?
You realize that a lot of the people, they do want you to do a good job. I mean, this is getting into acting shit. They want you to do a good job so they can go home, right?
Right.
It's a tedious
They're looking
job.
for the right person.
It's a tedious job. It's not fun.
Oh yeah, no, I've
it
cast
sucks,
things before,
especially when it's kids, and they just one of them gets up there, gets ready to audition, and they just start crying
because
there's a lot of pressure.
Absolutely, and that's why that advice was very
And you look at
helpful
the
to me.
parent, you're like, "What are you doing? Like this, give this kid a soccer ball or something."
And they're like trying to be a star mom or dad.
Yeah, it's just like, let these kids have fun. My parents were so smart by not answering. I begged them to let me take acting classes, and they just refused. They were like, no, you're not doing that shit.
Yeah. That was very smart. You got there anyway.
Yep.
Bad Christian says defund the IRS. Absolutely, I agree. So moving on to the Tesla attacks. You've seen this in the news, right? I think we might have talked about this.
Yeah, I did see the Tesla attacks.
It continues. I've been talking about this for a while now. I actually tweeted out some screenshots of emails from the activist group Indivisible that I got at Elon Musk a week before he called for people to investigate the Tesla protests. I warned them. I said, here's screenshots. They're coming after the Tesla dealerships, and they're going to come after the shareholders' meetings here the next couple of weeks. This was like 2-3 weeks ago, and then it started happening because they are Bolsheviks. They're trying to create an organizational weapon. Could some of these attacks be provocateur? Of course, but you don't necessarily have to provocateur things when you have created an army of people who are willing to do this because they think that Hitler is in charge and everything is going to be taken away from them. That's why I've been playing those videos for so long, since really 8 years now. I've been focusing on Indivisible. And Indivisible is the group that Elon Musk is now talking about.
I know, it's crazy.
Yeah, for 8 years I've been exposing Indivisible. Finally, people are actually talking about it on the mainstream. Go ahead.
Oh no, you're right. I mean, it was kind of encouraging to see him bring up Indivisible, and then was the other one Act Blue?
Act Blue, which is another one we've talked about. It's just a money laundering organization, basically for Democrats. A lot of people have been exposing that. So that stuff is getting in the mainstream, so that's good.
Well, people need to understand, once the tactics are exposed, the spell is broken.
Right.
They're going to find new ones, but there's a lot that we can expose.
It's a matter of getting it exposed broadly.
Yes.
To a wider audience instead of it being used as a way to radicalize, saying, look, they're coming at us. And that's what Indivisible has done. I'm going to show you a video because ever since Musk highlighted Indivisible, they have been making videos and sending out emails saying, Musk keeps coming after us. We're occupying land in his mind. And they keep making videos like now they're being attacked by the richest man in the world, using to further radicalize and harden their purple-haired weirdos.
Did they say occupying land in his mind instead of taking up real estate?
They probably said it the right way. I said it the retarded way. That was me. That would be funny if they said it. If they said it the stupid way that I just said it. It would be funny. But so here's what happened in the past week or so. We had a shooting at an Oregon Tesla dealership where 7 shots were fired, shattering glass and hitting 3 cars overnight. There has been graffiti on Tesla dealership signs across the country. One of them said Nazi that was spray painted underneath the entry sign. There was Tesla charging stations across the country that have been set on fire. Molotov cocktails, I say this all the time, they convinced these protesters with nothing better to do to go toss Molotov cocktails into buildings. I literally always say this because the organizer gets raised politically when they can convince some idiot to go do that while that idiot gets arrested and their life is ruined. These idiots think they're doing something good. They're pawns in the political rise of the people organizing them. But it was thrown into a dealership a lot. There was over 350 protesters that swarmed and shut down a Tesla dealership in Manhattan. They all went into the showroom and started screaming and flailing around. Can you imagine that? A bunch of activists filling up a Tesla
It's not going to work. Look, what my hope, and I think what people are sick of is they're sick of streets being shut down. They're sick of cities being shut down. They're sick of the store being shut down. They're tired of it.
Yeah.
They're really tired of your activism inconveniencing their daily life.
Right. Just imagine you work at a Tesla dealership. You're just going to work.
Dude, I used to work at a restaurant that served veal, so PETA would come and protest us twice a year.
But that was
and yell
fun.
at me as I went into work. It's like, I'm just fucking bartending.
But they're yelling, like,
Fuck
what
out
are
of my
you
way.
just working there?
I know. It's so stupid.
You could even, people, they
work
might
there?
even
Yeah,
agree
I got a
with
bunch
these
of tips
people.
to make tonight.
Right.
Sorry
just
about
crazy.
the cows. I don't eat the veal. I think it's gross too. What do you want me to do about it?
This is a perfect example of turning the citizens against each other.
Yeah.
Their enemy is this richest man in the world. Yet here they are attacking a dealership that is run by everyday people. It's not Tesla's not Musk is not showing up there every single day at all these dealers. He doesn't care.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's stupid. It's stupid. He's not that connected to the dealerships.
No, he probably has never
Has he
been.
think
to
and he's
most
never,
of
never
them.
been in one.
He's probably never been
Yeah.
to these ones that are being attacked. And these people,
But Trump bought a Tesla today.
I know, and he bought that Tesla in part to, I guess, like a solidarity move for Musk.
They should have been
And-
giving away Teslas at that joint Congress session. Just giving away Teslas to those people.
Right, that would have been great.
You got
So-
a Tesla.
This is what Trump did, and this was basically an ad for Tesla. He also declared he said that the violence against Tesla facilities, he told the media he was going to declare it as domestic terrorism because they're harming a great American company. I don't know if that "because" is the best. Should have left that part off, maybe. There are probably other reasons he could say that they're doing that. but
There are sometimes, man. Sometimes he says the perfect thing. Sometimes
it's just like,
it's a little, but it's always entertaining.
it is entertaining. So here's a little bit of what Trump said in the demonstration where
We got a red one. Of course he did.
He got it
candy.
for the White House
I know.
staff use because he can't. He's not
Well,
allowed to drive.
You think Melania picked that color? I bet she did. She loves red.
Probably, yeah.
Dude, remember her red Christmas? I'll bet you he said, Melania, which color Tesla should I give for
It's
this
like it to be the red.
They get to be red like our passionate
Now
love.
come into bed, Donald.
Come, Donald. Come to the Lincoln bedroom.
You too, Iran. You
and
come
make
to
love
bed
to
too.
me.
Terrible things that have taken place against our country, they want to penalize them in a economic sense, and I just think that's very unfair. So I just wanted to make a statement. I'm going to buy one. That's beautiful. Wow,
It's not even a Cybertruck.
that's beautiful.
He what?
He's never driven. I mean, come on. These guys don't drive cars.
He's already been given a Cybertruck by somebody who interviewed him.
This is a
that's
different
right,
panel
so-
than I've had. Everything's computer. That's beautiful. Wow.
That's great. Grandpa Trump. Grandpa Trump is in a Tesla.
It just seems too small. It seems
I just like this version of Trump. Grandpa Trump is. I like this one.
yeah. Show it to his. He should be showing it to his youngest grandchild.
Give Secret Service a heart attack.
That's beautiful.
Can you start it?
Should I?
I wish he could just clap his hands and it would start.
Oh, wait, it's so you
I'll buy it.
do a.
I'll tell you, it could be.
Once in the Jeep.
Yeah, buy. Oh,
Very easy to drive.
that's. You're the only one that saw it.
So it's
He's playing with
Right,
it.
you get into that car. I don't understand.
Hello, President Trump. Are you looking to buy or lease today?
Well, I'm going to buy, and I'm going to buy because number one, it's a great product, as good as it gets, and number two, because this man has devoted his energy and his life to doing this. I think he's been treated very unfairly
Yes, I
by
do, Michael.
a very small group of people, and I just want people to know that you can't be penalized for being a patriot, and he's a great patriot, and he's also done an incredible job with Tesla. And I mean, nobody else has a car company started up in the last 30 years that's been successful. I don't think so. And not only successful, but super successful. And because he's able to find
Yeah.
billions and billions and billions of dollars of fraud and waste and all of the things. I mean, our country is going to be very strong very soon because of a lot of the things that he's done and a lot of the things that I'm doing. And there's no better team, but there's no better for what we're doing. There's nobody like this, and he shouldn't be penalized. And when I watched today, I said, I can't believe it. It should be the opposite. People should be going wild, and they love the product, but because he's finding all sorts of terrible things that have taken place against our country, they want to penalize him in a economic.
So yeah, so we're going to see more videos definitely of people selling their Teslas. I'm guessing after that.
But what's so funny about that is somebody's buying your Tesla. They're in demand. You didn't do anything. That Tesla is still going to be driven. That's fine. Sell your stupid
you're talking about the
Tesla.
people who've been making videos selling them.
It's so stupid.
Somebody's still buying it.
Yeah. I just sold it, and I guess they're taking it to the garbage dump.
The story, right? The story is also that people just with Teslas are afraid now. They're being attacked. Some people have.
Everyone's got to get over this shit. Everyone's got to get over this shit.
But now let me show you.
You got it. No, I mean, come on. So you and I know. Come on. Everyone's got to stop. No, nobody is really. Someone fucks up your Tesla, you fucked them up. That's what happens. That's what you do.
Right. They're way too expensive. Even to rent, they're way too expensive. So he's going to lower that price, I think. But so here is Indivisible. This is just one of the videos from a few days ago. Their focus is on Musk, Tesla. These are the people who are leading the Tesla protests that I've been talking about for quite some time. It's where they shifted their focus. This is Indivisible's leader, the very dainty and tiny Ezra. I can't remember. It's Ezra. I think Ezra's his last name. Can't remember his first name.
Hey everybody, it's Ezra with Indivisible here with a report on what do we do next? What is the plan? How do we maintain pressure to get Democrats to fight back, to fracture the support for Trump and for Musk and for Project 2025? Well, there's a big opportunity coming up, and I want to tell you about it.
I love that music. They got rock and roll music. Like this guy doesn't weigh 115 pounds and look like he has AIDS.
February, we showed up in a big way. We made a big splash all around.
So he's showing things back in February. Here's what we did. And he says on the little PowerPoint, it says, Indivisible and allies have organized nearly 200 events demanding Republicans answer for their complicity in the Trump-Musk coup. And they need to be highly visible in this momentum to harness the growing outrage over Trump-Musk. And that high visibility comes in the form of these direct actions, which they are specifically calling for at these Tesla dealerships and the shareholders meeting. And they got pictures of the people at the rallies. This is how they reward their Bolshevik activists, is they prop them up on their videos and on social media so they feel rewarded. It's a carrot and the stick. Because a lot of these people probably don't have many people in their lives who say good things about them, honestly. This is why they're attracted to groups like this, because they are looking for something. And this fills that hole in their life. This is their leader.
Around the country. It was the first congressional recess for House members, and Democrats showed up in town halls and got encouragement from their constituents to actually fight back. We saw many Republicans showing up, surprised that their constituents were angry about Elon Musk, angry about Doge, angry about Project 2025.
I don't buy it.
The constituents that showed up were Democrats that lived in that area. They weren't the Republicans, that's the lie.
There's some Republicans in deep red districts that were caught off guard. We had events from local Indivisible group leaders and local constituents in 200 congressional districts all around the country, just about everywhere. And it made an impression. What we saw from Democrats who were being asked to fight back.
Just a professional asshole.
Yeah,
he's a professional pain in the ass. That's all he is.
Well, he's a top-down funded Democrat, progressive. He came from government. They picked this guy because he is the ideal type to be a leader for the group that he's targeting, just like they picked Stacey Abrams to target the groups that she targets. If they had a guy who was at all masculine here, that it would turn off these purple-haired women in their late 40s and 50s that he's targeting. Like if you see the groups that come to the training sessions, it's all white, just progressive women with purple hair, LGBTQ, and this is a non-threatening to that stereotype leader and his wife to that group. Like they're like, show me somebody that looks like he's dying of AIDS and his wife that we know they aren't ever having sex, and that is their leader. And so this is a guy who's talking in these meetings going, these are spineless Republicans, Democrats, and we need to show them that we're going to bring hell. So he's using this language that if somebody like Trump or anybody who had a pair of balls actually used, then it would be like, holy cow, this is really threatening language being used. But because it's coming from somebody who literally is slightly bigger than like a field mouse, and like I said, looks like he has AIDS, it's like, oh, okay, yes, for people like us, don't see it as threatening. We laugh at it, but it's still charging up these people who are following him.
And they fucking get into this like this is their church, I think.
The fear, like, it's extraordinary. If you want to see how they really scare people, watch some of these Indivisible videos, because they never start any talk, or they never have a guest on who doesn't start the same way by saying, we know things are dark and that everything feels hopeless, and that your very livelihood.
I already know what kind of customer this is. I've had conversations with him. He's been escalated to me before, Brad.
What do they say?
This kind of guy. They think they can bully you.
This is a guy who is definitely,
and they can't.
He makes them afraid, and then he says, but there is still hope, and the hope comes in the form of what you can do, and here's what you can do, and they give them exact instructions.
Yeah.
And they follow them.
Because some of them showed up at the address to Congress that Trump gave and walked out because they were trying to fight back the way their constituents were asking them to. On the Republican side, they were worried, and they started saying, well, wait a minute, maybe Doge is moving too fast. Maybe Musk isn't a guy we should be backing up. Look, we haven't won that fight. They haven't seen the light, but they are starting to get scared. And you know what they do? Because they're scared, they say, oh, it's all fake now. That's not real. They weren't actual constituents. And also, we're not going to hold any more town halls. They
were Democrats.
Like that. We don't like the impression.
You see the lie there? By implying that all the constituents of a Republican must all be Republican, like they got 100% of the vote.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's
ridiculous.
Not true.
It's not.
That way. That's what we accomplished together in February. We put the pressure on, and Congress is, whether they like it or not, they're hearing us. Okay, so what comes next? It's now March. What comes next? Well, there is another congressional recess coming up. This isn't just for House members, though, this time. This is for House members and for senators. It's Democrats and Republicans. A recess means they're not having legislation move forward. They don't have votes. They should be back home in their states, in their districts.
So this is next week. This is Saturday, March 15th through March 23rd. So around your state, expect some of this to happen, especially if you are in a state where a lot of Democrats can be organized, like Colorado, for example. But this video is titled Musk or Us Recess Explainer. So he's now directing them on what they should do during this week-long period where they're going to have a chance to go shout down and harass their elected officials about Musk.
Their point of recess, the reason why it exists, is to give members time to talk with their constituents. So what are we asking? We want them to talk with their constituents. That's what we want them to do. If you've got a Democratic member of Congress in the House or the Senate, you should be asking them, hey, hold a town hall.
Okay, so I'm a Republican congressman, all right, in a obviously Republican heavy district, and all of a sudden my phone starts ringing off the hook. Aren't we now just hip to this? Wouldn't you, as a Republican congressman, just go, yeah, fuck off, click?
I'm sure they are.
Yeah, fuck off, click.
Right. It's not in the actual language of it. It's in the tying up. It's the CIA, the manual for simple sabotage. It's tying up the phone lines. It's just all these things that just are inconveniences.
That's what the commies like to do. The commies like to,
right.
They like to fuck with communication.
If you seriously, the simple sabotage manual, read that. It's very short, easy read, and apply it to now with modern technology. Okay. That is what this group does, and others.
Hold it town hall. Let us show up and demonstrate how opposed to Musk and Trump and Project 2025 we are. Let us show up and tell you we've got your back if you want to fight back. That's what we're asking Democrats to do. And for the Republicans, we want them to show up too. We do. It is not...
All right. right, so I'm going to skip forward a little bit to their toolkit stuff that he brings forward. And in the emails they sent, and in one of the videos the day Musk mentioned them first, they were directly calling for people to show up and fill the showrooms of the Tesla dealerships and the shareholder meeting.
To show up and make your voice heard.
With
But
a Molotov cocktail.
You're
Yes,
not going to know where these events are. You're not going to be able to plan events yourself unless you start making those plans right now. So, next slide, please. Here's what
Someone else is doing this for him. He's not
First,
even. He can't
check
even
this-
be bothered to click
Right.
the next slide.
Yeah, right. Next
Brad,
slide, please.
you need someone to start clicking things for you.
That's great. That is so funny that he can't even.
Next
be
slide,
bothered.
please.
It is Ezra
Fucking
11. You're
asshole.
right. It is his last name. So this says click on the toolkit.
whether your member of Congress has scheduled a town hall. Many of them have, especially on the Democratic side, not the Republican side so much.
I hate the
but on the
fake
Democratic
laughing
side,
he does.
many members of Congress have said, yeah, I'm going to hold a town hall. Make plans to show up, enforce, get friends, get family members. You should be out there.
So the 1 through 4 on this little checklist here, and it says click on the toolkit, and they do have toolkits for all of them. I'm going to show you an example of how their toolkits work here after this. Check whether your members of Congress have scheduled a town hall, and then it says we put instructions in the toolkit! Exclamation point. Number 2, if they don't yet have a town hall, call the office and ask for one. Number 3, if they do have a town hall, attend and bring friends. Ask questions, share highlights on social media, which they will then share. And then number 4 is if you need to, host an empty chair town hall where they can then just smear the Republican who didn't want to get harassed because he knew.
Yeah,
he
we
was
had a
too
town
harassed.
hall and he didn't show up.
Right. And yeah, are the Democrats having town halls would be a question because they don't care about that.
We've got instructions in a toolkit. It's open source. You can use it to find out exactly how best to do this. If you haven't seen them announce a town hall, though, ask them to hold a town hall. Call your members of Congress office and say, hey, I've seen you haven't scheduled a town hall for this recess. You
Skip
want
to 5
now
through, I think there's more.
And saying on the calendar, right, they
Maybe
should
not.
can put chicken on stage, have somebody in chicken costume, have somebody
wait,
in clown
yeah, here you
costume.
go.
Officials invite the member of Congress who is refusing to show up. And if they show up, give them a platform to speak. They have the right. They should confer with their constituents about what to do. And if they don't show up, though, which is in all likelihood based on what they're saying, be prepared for that as well. Have somebody there, have a live chicken on stage, have somebody in chicken
Have a
costume,
live chicken on stage, somebody in a chicken costume.
have somebody in a clown costume, have a cardboard cutout, whatever it is, have some way to represent the member who is not just supporting an extremist agenda, but is such a coward that they are unwilling
The extremist
to face
coup
their
that
own
we all voted
constituents
for.
as they support.
And when they do show up, the questions they ask is, why are you supporting an extremist agenda? Those
Why are
the
you in
types
a
of
chicken
questions.
costume and supporting an extremist agenda? Why is this extremist?
Right.
Why is that guy in a clown costume an extremist?
How do you feel about the Nazi salutes that co-president Musk has been giving? Those are the types of questions they
My
ask.
heart goes out to you.
Actual Republicans show up. So the incentive to show up is not. There's not a lot of incentive to show up. Let's see how he closes this out.
that agenda. This is called tactical innovation. It's called tactical escalation. That's what we do to maintain pressure. This is the next step in the organizing fight against this authoritarian takeover.
How far does that go? Tactical escalation, tactical innovation. It's fighting against authoritarianism. Molotov cocktails, and we've seen
Our
that.
government. This is how we each do our part, whether we're in Democratic districts or states or Republican districts or states. We all have a role to play in this moment. So I hope the toolkit that we have out is useful to you, but ultimately this comes down to constituents. If you don't take this up, if you don't organize it, nobody else is going to do it. So hope we can help, and I'll see you out there.
And that's it. Yeah. We're
Yeah.
gonna.
We
we're gonna
need
make
you to
feel-
do this so that we can create content for the news cycle.
That is definitely part of it as well. And it's a benefit to them when Molotov cocktails start getting thrown, which they don't have to directly tell people to do. They can imply. They can get people to be so afraid, which they have a very clear format, as I said. They get people terrified, and they say, but here's what you can do. You can show up and do this, and you can put this pressure against somebody who they believe is Hitler. They're people who follow them. And then it's, you are the last line of defense. It's up to you to put your body on the line. That's a frequent phrase that they use. If you don't do it, then the nightmare scenario that we have fabricated in your mind will become a reality. So you're going to get a few people to go a little bit off the rocker, and we're going to see people attacking Tesla dealerships as a result of stuff like
Brad,
this.
I think it's time we do another Man on the Street.
I think so, too. We need to go to one of these things.
I think we need to go to one of these things.
We definitely need to go to one of these things. So let me show you kind of how their resources work here. All right. This is, let me make this a little bigger because I don't want to put my, all right. So this is from the indivisible.org website. Tell Senate Democrats, thank you for voting down the attack on transgender Americans. We won't do that. Let's do it a different way, man. Let's go to, actually, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what the script is. I'm going to put my phone number that I don't have anymore. Let's see if it works. Hopefully it works. 281. Old phone number there, and then I'm gonna put my old street address. Okay, now watch this. Make it a little smaller. Watch what happens, and I'm gonna. You know what? All right, here you go. All right. I clicked on it. Your phone will be ringing shortly, and I tried it earlier with my phone number, and my phone rang immediately. And this says, please be sure you have your phone nearby and the volume is turned up. And what happens is your phone rings immediately, and when you connect to it, your congressperson or senator that they're connecting you to, based on your location, they're calling that number for you. So it does all the work for you, and then it tells you the script which pops up on screen right here. You see that? Hi, my name is your name, and I am a constituent from your state or city. I'm calling to thank you for voting against S9 and the GOP bill that attacked kids. And they give you the entire script. And so you literally only have to put in your phone number and address, and they do all the hard work for you. You don't have to look up you don't even have to know who your constituent, your congressperson or senator is. They do it. You don't have to come up with what to say. They do it, and then they get a big thank you, and you can even call them again if you want. And your phone will ring again. Do what?
No, call again. Leave another thank you note.
Another thank you message.
You can send them a box. That'd be nice if you could, if they'd have gifts, different levels you could send, maybe a Starbucks gift card,
You can send to your
chocolates, or what's that?
That you can send to your congressperson.
Yeah, like little corporate gifts that you can send to them.
Yeah. Well, that thank you, I guess, can show them that they will vote for them again. Here's another one that says, call your Senate. Democrats must hold town halls now during the recess. Call now. All these are call now. Press a button. They'll connect you, and you read the script. You don't have to think at all to be a part of this group. You just have to take the action that you're told, and you will be helping protect America from a dictator rule. Look at this. All of them are call. Email now, and they tell you what email to do. You do the same thing. You put your email in. Check out indivisible.org and their resources, and you will see how organized this group is with the idea, the mindset of it takes a lot to get people off the couch to take action, so we're going to remove as many as possible, the obstacles to action. So it's one-click action. And they even pick people up to go to get out the vote stuff, probably to go to these direct action things that connect people in groups so that they can ride together, Facebook groups. They make it a community thing, a thing you're doing with your new radical weirdo friends. And some of them end up in prison and their lives ruined, while these dudes end up running for elected
these guys
office.
make a shitload of money.
These guys make tons of money. Tons of money doing this.
They make tons of money, and they tip like shit.
Terrible.
I know these people, man. Fuck these assholes.
No, they're awful. They're very, very awful.
They tip like shit. Every one of them.
Yeah, and they complain about everything.
And that's how I judge people. That's how I judge people. Based on how you tip, man.
You got to be a good tipper.
You got to be a good tipper. You're an asshole if you don't tip good.
It takes a lot for me to not give 20%,
Yeah, 20%. Yeah, it does. I mean, you have to really
be really bad. You have to be like somebody like this guy, waiting tables.
But you got to bring a good attitude to the situation. It can't be a one-way thing. You can't expect these people to just slob your knob because you're paying them.
Wait, what?
You know what I'm saying?
That's not part of the deal. When I didn't realize that.
No
Yeah, of
metaphorics. No metaphorically slobbing any knobs.
That's why they
should
always
be
say
happening.
that on the first date, person you're on a date with might judge you by the way that you treat the wait staff.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I've really laid into friends about it before.
So
I've trained my entire family how to treat restaurant staff.
that's good. Yeah, that's very good. The question of from AJ says, "What's a good tip in 2025?" I would say a non-forced one, which we see
Yeah.
in
Now,
Starbucks and all those
yeah,
places.
no. That's different. If they have to come to your table, provide a service, they're interacting with you. You know what I'm talking about? This is a tipping kind of situation, right?
Right.
They carried a bunch of heavy shit for you. Tipping situation. I swiped my own fucking card, and all you know what I mean? Like, this is not a tipping situation. I might give you the rest of my change. You get what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, just fling it at them, probably.
Like, pick it up, asshole.
yeah.
Get a real job at a
Right, maybe
restaurant.
cut above an eyebrow there. Michael says, tip, look both ways before you cross the street.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good tip to leave. Although, doesn't necessarily get a good response if you write that in the tip spot.
My
But this-
response whenever someone would say, hey, bartender, you want a tip or what? I'm like, hey, customer, you want a drink or what?
Yeah, right.
That's exactly what I'd say every
Yeah.
time.
And you can probably tell who's a good tipper or not, so you can focus on them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, this thing with when you go through Starbucks and they're like, okay, if you could just answer a question, please, for us, and it's just so condescending because we all know what the question is. You don't insult me. That's why I pay cash when I go through Starbucks, and I've been.
It's
scoffed
just a
at.
question. I've never even looked at the question. No idea what the question is asking. I don't want to know.
Yeah.
No.
$1, no tip. They force you to choose no tip. I've been scoffed at for using cash before, which is true, which definitely didn't get a tip. Would have tipped if it was just nice still.
Tip,
'cause-
round up for the Ronald McDonald House. Come on. You know what I'm saying? These are some nice things.
Don't
you can do.
emotionally exploit me either. I don't like that either.
But the Ronald McDonald House is a good one.
I don't
That's
know.
a good
I don't
That's
know
a
who's
solid
behind
one.
the Ronald McDonald House. I always say no to that stuff. Every single time I say no,
Why?
and they say,
You
"Would you like
gotta
to do
give
this?" I
to
say,
the
"No,
Ronald
I
McDonald
wouldn't like
House.
to do that."
You got to give to St. Jude's. You got to give to St.
I
Jude's.
don't give to St. Jude's either.
You got to.
No, I give if it's like a local organization, I'll give. But when it's an organization that I haven't had time to research, I'm not going to be pressured into donating money to the globalists
How much
who are
pressuring
using.
you, Brad? They're just asking.
It's like that not Seinfeld, that's South Park episode where they put the photos of the people who have yet to donate the tip
Yeah.
on the wall, and it's just one person, that one guy, the dad of one of the characters, and they're just trying to shame him.
I used to
And
win.
tipping.
I used to win the St. Jude competition every year for Chili's.
'Cause
Every
you
year
would
I would.
shame people.
You damn right I would. I would walk up to them and I'd be like, "Hey, you guys want to save a dying kid or not?"
Right. You know what I would say to you? I'd say, not
You
like
say
this.
no, and I
I'd
go,
say, "Not
"This
like
guy doesn't
this."
want to save a dying kid."
I'd say, show me the dying kid, please. Produce
And
the
then
dying
I'd show
kid.
you the St. Jude's video.
Give me the mother's phone number. I'd like to
It's
talk
an
to him.
amazing. It's an amazing thing. they
Give me the
do over at
doctor,
St.
the
Jude's.
mother. I want to find out more about this kid. And I'd end up being there for hours at Chili's. And you
Hey
wouldn't
man,
get
I more charities, less government,
charities, non-government organizations that are often guises for
No, not
Jimmy
no.
Savile.
No, I'm just talking about funded by regular people charities.
If they're good people, yeah. That's why
not
you got to know the
grant-driven
charities.
charities.
That's why you got to know the charities. Fortunately, you don't work at Chili's anymore, Ian. All right,
Oh,
last
burn
story.
that shirt.
Ian famously burned his shirt after he quit Chili's years and years ago,
And
which
you know
would have
the
gone
manager-
viral in this day and age.
You know, I know the manager I did that over. I ran into him about 2 years ago, and he didn't fucking remember me. Isn't that crazy?
Really?
Did not remember me. And I was there because I was there eating with with one of my my former Chili heads.
Yeah.
We were at the Chili's.
right.
He did not
The same
recognize
one?
me.
It's funny, dude.
Same one.
Did you know that Chili's? I was at a Chili's not long ago, and I tried to order a Caesar salad, and the guy said, "We just took the Caesar salad off the menu." And I said, "You
For
did
you,
what?"
because we saw you coming in the parking lot. We said, 86 Caesar salads.
No, the guy was like, I don't know, dude. I said, there was a meeting, and in the meeting with the higher ups, they said, we need to get rid of some of this stuff. I nominate the Caesar salad. And the Yays won that, and the guy was like, yeah, dude. I was like, and I said this. I said, what about the chili? Do you guys still offer the chili here? And he started laughing.
Alpo,
he goes,
dude.
no, we also
it's
stopped
gross.
offering the chili at Chili's. I was flabbergasted.
That's how it started, by the way. It
Is
started
get rid of
as
the chili?
a burger and chili stand.
Right. Now that they don't even serve food there. They don't have any food left at Chili's. They got rid of it all. It's all drinks. It's all chips, like appetizers.
Chili's is so different than what it was when I worked there long ago. Plus, when I worked there, it was in Florida. 2-for-1 drinks all day, every day. It's happy hour all day.
That is what it's like. And you get to pay. Like, I went to go pay with a little
dude.
machine they have on the table. And they had the
Yeah.
other person's table on my computer. So I had 2 tables on my computer.
That computer shit is all. Very few restaurants. If I had to work in a restaurant now, I'd be mature. I'd work in like a Ted's Montana. Be a mature restaurant.
Yeah.
Houston's.
Yeah. You try to limit the number of Democrats you had coming in, sounds
Yeah.
like. Yeah. All right. So last story, I haven't read this one in full. I figure we could go to it together. But it's about hetero cuddling. It's a story that's popped up into the news a lot over the past few years. Men who cuddle with men.
Bruddle.
Yeah, bruttle. I don't know if it goes into the territory of men who have sex with men, also very hetero, according to the CDC.
Just heterosex. I just heterosexually do anal with all of my
Yeah, it's
heterosexual
totally
male
hetero,
friends.
brosexual. This is from BuzzFeed, which I didn't even know still existed. It says Pedro Pascal and Oscar Isaac are being praised for displaying non-toxic masculinity after Pedro shared an intimate photo of them cuddling. I'm so over toxic masculinity. These two give me hope for the future, one person said of the intimate snap. Let's look at the snap. That's not it.
That is not cuddling. That's just.
They're holding hands, though. That could be jokey, though.
They could be joking.
It could be joking. That's not it either. Where is it? Where's the snap? There it is. That's it. Also could be joking. So this is the image they're talking about.
Who wrote this? What's the name of the person who put this article together?
I think this is it, unless there's just one of them down here. Okay, some of these pictures are a little gay, I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, I wouldn't get that close to you. But these are also Europeans. Stephanie. I knew it was a woman. Sorry, I'm not being misogynistic here.
Yeah, it's okay.
But she just doesn't get it. She doesn't get how men interact. She doesn't get it.
Yeah. Now, what I wonder is, have they come out and said, we weren't really cuddling, we were just messing around?
Yeah.
Randy Marsh is a South Park character. Thank you, Denver, by the way. Another day, another example of Pedro making the internet a nicer place to be. And this time it was with the help of his longtime bestie, Oscar Isaac, with the stars being praised for representing non-toxic masculinity. Now, I'll say this. There was a story going around a few months ago that was about how Pedro, because he was in Gladiator 2, kept improvising makeout scenes with guys. And the director kept saying, cut, and they didn't include any of it. But he kept doing improvised makeout scenes with other men in Gladiator 2. And is that true? I don't know, but perhaps this is evidence that maybe it is true. That for some reason, it didn't say kiss this other guy in the script, and he just decided, I feel like there's a kiss that spontaneously emerged from this. Have you ever done that in a scene of a movie?
I have to very often fight for making out with my male co-stars in any scene. I have to really fight.
Right.
But that's what gives such attention to my performances, Brad.
Right.
Is I'm sitting on all this sexual, heterosexual energy.
Right. It's yeah. Can't imagine that. Like if you try to do that with a female counterpart, you'd probably get #MeToo'd.
Oh my God. Well, they have intimacy coordinators on set now.
I know that they do. So for reference, the two men first met when they starred alongside each other on the Off-Broadway show in 2005. They became fast friends, and in 2020, Oscar revealed that they initially bonded over their shared passions and frustrations as Latino actors. Says they've been pigeonholed, blah, blah, blah. The dream was to, whatever, pay rent.
You haven't been pigeonholed. You just aren't making your own shit. You haven't been pigeonholed. You have millions of dollars. Write a fucking script. Make your fucking favorite Latino movie you've ever wanted to make. What the fuck? I hate this so much.
Yeah, they get very
It's a
pigeonholed 'cause
business.
they're
You're in
Latino.
Hollywood. What's that?
Because they're like I was pigeonholed as the goofy white guy.
I
or
was
the racist
pigeonholed
guy.
as angry racist guy.
terrorist.
Right. Or a white blue collar guy that's got shit on his shirt.
We couldn't read the audition scripts that we have gotten on
Or
air. without
asshole
getting
doctor.
kicked off.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh,
Seriously, I've gotten a number of them where I've had to say the hard R multiple times as the racist in an audition. And it's like you walk out of that room and there's other people there and they're just looking at you. Like, they told me to say it, you know?
yeah.
One of them was for that Selma movie, I think. Which Obama played in the White House.
Frustrations they felt as Latino actors.
Look, there they are expressing their frustrations.
In the same article where they're talking about Golden Globe nominations and all the success, look how frustrated they appear.
Yeah,
look how
they're
frustrated they look.
Shortly before butt sex, there they are.
Yeah.
In fact, the two were so close that in 2018, Oscar's wife referred to Pedro as her sister wife. Okay, that's a little gay. And it was actually Elvira who took the photo that Pedro shared on his Instagram story on Sunday to honor Oscar's 46th birthday that caused a stir with his followers. It's not that one. In the photo, the two men are enjoying an intimate cuddle in front of a beautiful scenic backdrop. Oscar is cradling Pedro and smiling while resting his head on his friend's head, I guess. Oscar's hand is also visibly on Pedro's shoulder, and Pedro has channeled his inner Ariana Grande by reaching up to clasp onto Oscar's thumb.
Oh my God.
What is Ariana Grande?
Description.
It's ridiculous. She looks like a skeleton took
Clasp
Ozempic.
onto his thumb.
I see what they're talking about right there. This could be joking. This looks like a joking photo to me, but they're making it something more than it's.
Oh, they're making this way more than it is.
Let's see if they had a response to it. Discussing the post on Reddit, one person wrote, "As a happily married straight man, this is a kind of friendship I would kill to have." Oh my God, you're not a happily married straight man. Deep friendships filled with love are just deep friendships filled with love. Those friends are lucky. I wonder if everybody called that guy gay on that Reddit forum.
You know, I'm super happy with my wife. I'm super happy with my wife. I'm very, very happy. But I would love it if I could just have this kind of a deep, hard relationship with a man.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. Here's another Reddit comment. More hot celebrity men known for playing tough, badass, strongmen characters displaying ultra non-toxic masculinity, please.
I'm so over toxic masculinity. These two give me hope for the future. Yeah.
Somebody echoed. One
Well,
more
you
wrote-
know, I mean, the samurai used to have sex with each other. The Spartans
that's
used to have
true.
sex with each other.
The philosophers had sex with their friends' kids.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but look at Pedro's eyes is breaking me. The look is. Platonic relationships are so important. I love how much he celebrates his. Cherish the people. Imagine if he really hated this, but his PR person was like, you got to lean into this, dude.
I've never felt compelled to comment on anything like this. I've never felt compelled to sit there. I don't think they're real. They can't be real. These are all bullshit comments that are put together by PR agents. Somebody else comment. Like, who? I'm sorry.
No,
I just don't think it's
I
real.
agree with you on that.
Nobody takes the time to comment on this shit.
Here's Pedro's post came shortly after he went viral for his iconic responses to angry trolls who commented that they were unfollowing him after he advocated for trans rights on Instagram. One of his replies simply read, "No," with what looks like painted fingernails, purple painted fingernails. And another he quipped, "That's too bad, Walt. No, I don't
Wait.
give a shit." So
Wait.
He's saying people who criticized him, they're not saying the actual things people said to him, but he was criticized about he was criticizing angry trolls that were commenting and unfollowing him because he advocated for trans rights. And so those are his, let's see. So these are his trans things. A world without trans people has never existed and never will, said Pedro. Yeah. So he's probably gay.
Why am I making such a big deal out of trans people? Oh, no,
Well, I
no,
would
wait.
say because it's being pushed from
Pedro
Hollywood and
is.
normalized. Yeah.
Yeah. I've never once posted anything on the internet for or against trans people. I've simply rolled my eyes and laughed at my liberal friends. And
Right.
apparently I spend too much time on it.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, when they're trying to make it a social contagion type thing, I think. And our liberal friends are sneaking to us in corners talking about
Oh,
how
they
their
all.
daughters
It's
are.
one by one. They're like, I'm so glad my kid's not trans. God, that
Yeah.
would be fucking terrible.
Yeah. Dee's Laugh says, aren't we overdue for a Brokeback Mountain sequel? We have our two actors, if that's the case. Of course, it will be
It's
Hispanic.
called
themed.
Comeback Mountain.
Yeah. What's a mountain in Mexico that they can do? So they can, unless they don't want to be pigeonholed.
Yeah.
You know, they'll just be pigeonholing each other. Who are these people? Hairstylists, like a Vidalis? You talking about these two actors? Here's the Reddit. Look at the Reddit thing. And we'll get out of here. It's funny the
Okay.
pictures they shared on Reddit. Make that a little bigger. I love this. They have the 4 there, right there. I do have my sweet girlfriend, Pedro. My girl, that's my baby. Said, Oscar, when asked who'd he like to do another space movie with, and he said, I'd have to say my sweet girlfriend, Pedro. That's my girl, that's my baby.
Can you imagine?
it's a little gay.
Can you imagine hanging out with these two, and they just can't keep their hands off each other? You're like, guys, come on, we're just
The
trying to play
wives are
some
just
pool.
sitting there. Yeah.
We're just trying to play, like they're going bowling, playing pool, and these guys just act like this.
They're trying to bowl each other. Like,
Yeah,
put your hands
guys,
in the
come
ball.
on, you're up.
God, dude. How many comments are on this thread? I wonder.
Imagine if
372
these guys
comments.
went to go play basketball with you.
Dude, they'd be grabbing balls left and right. I wouldn't be playing any defense on them, dude. Whatever, get away from me. Yeah. I guess that is a way to open up the lane is if you try and grope everybody who D's you up, man. All right, Ian, where can people find you?
They can find me at Reginald V Actor, and that's about it right now. That's where I'm at. Ain't here.
Fantastic.
I'm here every Tuesday
here.
and Thursday. Come check me out here.
That's right, 8:30 and 9 usually is when we start.
Sometime between
Typically.
8:30 and 9. We keep it loose.
We keep it a little bit loose, like Pedro, and I'm not even going to
Yeah.
go there. Propagandafight.com, at Freedom Act Radio on X, and you can find all my other links to support the show, either financially or by sharing it with your friends at the link tree that is in the bio of my X profile. Thanks again for all the great chats and for hanging out with us. We'll do it again very, very soon. You guys have a fantastic rest of your day.
Later.